Something smart, something dumb, and everything else. But a tea, darling? Yes.
What?
Hey, hi, hello. Welcome to Something Smart, Something Dumb, and Everything Else.
What's the everything else?
We're gonna find out.
Whoosh! You have to censor both of these now.
For fantastic beasts and where to find them. I've got the Spider-Man, you've got your Iron Man.
Whoosh! But that's not all I have today.
No?
We're eating some delicious stale popcorn. Here's a piece for you.
Thank you, sir.
Here's a piece for me.
Alright.
I've got my patent pending magic waker-upper juice. Some people call it coffee.
And I've got my tap water, so we're good to go. J.K. Rowling has written a new
Sorry,
era.
what was the name there?
J.K. Rowling?
Rowlin'?
Pretty sure.
Rowl, rowl, rowl your boat gently down the stream. Rowling, 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 rowling. Life is but a dram.
She's back to write a new era within the wizarding world. The story takes place in New York in 1926. We follow Newt Scamander, who tries to round up a bunch of magical creatures that manage to get loose from his magic suitcase. There's a lot of magic happening in this movie.
A lot of magic points, a lot of magic juice.
Something smart.
So smart!
Something smart. So, first thing I don't want to spend too much time on the cast. Eddie Redmayne as Newt Scamander. I like the choice, and it was obviously part of the script, but that he was an introvert. I just thought that was a fun character to follow. Colin Farrell as Graves, or Colin Farrell as I'm clearly the villain, watch me kill you.
Something good about Colin Farrell. He plays a villain. He was mean.
I thought he played the character really well, other than how he was obviously super evil from the get-go, where he should have played it a little bit more mysterious at the beginning.
I think if we're talking about something smart, we might have to move past Colin Farrell.
Alright, yeah, let's move past him. Ezra Miller as Credence. He's the
he's a little boy.
The little boy, he gets whipped on the hands, cries all the time, and it turns out he's super magic.
Turns out he has the most magic points of all. He did a lot of magic reps.
Dan Fogler as Kowalski. I've seen this guy in a few roles before, Balls of Fury. When I heard that he was in this movie, I was actually worried. Obviously, he was going to be the comic relief character, but I was afraid that he wouldn't be able to hold up. But I thought he killed it, being the comic relief, being the muggle or the nomad in the American world.
Basically, the only grounded character in the whole film. He wants to make pastries. Let him make the pastries.
He's a baker.
He's the best baker there ever was.
Next thing that we want to talk about.
You're not gonna talk. There's no female mentions at all.
No.
He's a sexist. Oh no.
I didn't. No, but there wasn't any female performances that really stood out for me.
He's a sexist.
Like the characters of Tina and her sister, I thought like they were fun characters to follow, but I didn't feel like it was worth mentioning them. But now I guess I will.
I think that the best story that happened between characters was the one that could read minds and the muggle guy.
No, I agree.
They were the best part of the film in terms of character. So I think she did a great job.
No, fair enough.
Just like men.
I think it might also be that I knew these actors beforehand, where I didn't know the women beforehand. So I was more interested to see how they would play in this world.
He's a sexist.
The American wizarding world, considering that this is the 9th film in this universe.
And they're like, hey, there's another part of the world.
Exactly. It's now, I thought it was smart that we got to experience a new part of the world and experience how they interact with the muggle world and how they hide themselves.
Yeah, I thought it was a nice take on the other side of things, like the subtle differences. It's sort of like when people have slang for things, it's always slightly different, which is kind of nice, like the whole nomad versus muggle thing.
Yeah, and I liked how at the beginning of the movie we were with Newt. When we are first introduced to Newt, it's him on the boat traveling to New York, and to me that was the storytellers of the film taking the audience saying, okay, you were here in England before, we're now taking you to New York, and you're going to experience this new world with Newt.
Basically what the filmmakers are saying is, here, let me take your hand, because you're a little baby and you need to be spoon-fed this information.
Exactly. The beast designs. This was something I had no doubt going into, knowing that there would be a good variety of unique creatures, the way they are designed, the way they move, the way they speak, from the weird horny rhino, to the invisible monkey, to the cool purple dragon that can shrink and grow, depending on the room size.
I thought the invisible thing was a sloth. It looked very sloth-like.
Oh, fair enough. I was thinking of a monkey, but...
Yeah, because it looks like a sloth with long...
Thinking about it now, I totally see the sloth. Yeah.
And then the little Was it a platypus?
Yeah, I was thinking of a platypus as well. I think that was Nibbler was the name or something.
Yeah.
That was definitely the best part of the movie for me, was interacting with the creatures and seeing Newt interact with the creatures, which actually brings us to the next point, the hunting of the beast.
When he's a crocodile hunter.
He's now the new crocodile hunter. Good notable scenes where the horny rhino, how he's trying to get the rhino back into the suitcase. It's fun. I also thought it was beautiful, just in the interaction.
I really liked how he was presenting his anus.
I just really liked how Eddie Redmayne, that's where he really shined in this movie for me, is when
the anal play.
You could tell that he cared for these animals so much and knew that none of them were dangerous and that they're all just playful creatures, and he knew how to take care of them. And that was, to me, the best part of the film.
Which is kind of interesting that the magical community is apparently so backwards that they're like, every magical beast is a piece of shit. They have to be murdered.
Yeah.
Whereas in the normal muggle world, where we understand that there's animals that are dangerous, but if you understand them, you can work with them, they're helpful, you know.
I mean, this was set in the 20s, in 1926, but still, you would still think there wouldn't be a worldwide ban on the magical creatures.
Wasn't that just North America, though?
No, it's worldwide. Newt, he just finished his worldwide collecting the creatures, and then he just got to New York to drop off the one. Okay.
Great.
The second Salem, they know about the wizarding community, at least to an extent, and they want to shut it down, and they're trying to spread the word. I really like the cult factor of it. I really like the name of it, Second Salem.
I actually didn't mind their emblem
logo.
of the snapping the wand. Because then you get that visually later too when she snaps the one that's a toy. My favorite part of the film was right when we got into the second act, when he has to actually use his knowledge of animals or creatures or beasts or whatever in a way that's not just about taking care of them. He used them practically to save someone, and that was when he was saving Tina from being executed, and he actually uses his knowledge and abilities, and someone's actually in danger for once, and that was the one scene that, I mean, sure, leading up to it, it's not the greatest, but that moment was nice.
Yeah.
The action bits for the 20 minutes that they lasted were nice as well.
Something dumb. First act lasted way too long.
Dragged.
Like,
forever.
As soon as we got to the characters, it should have picked up a notch, but they really
It reminded me a lot
drag.
of The Revenant. It was a lot of crawling for the whole film.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Get there. Do
Absolutely.
it. Let's do something.
Yeah. So then the next part is the third act. Complete horse.
It's very Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, exactly.
The climax of the film is a Scooby-Doo reveal of, it was the principal all along, but you've also never met the principal.
Yeah.
Booga booga!
Yeah, booga booga. It just really killed me because I was enjoying the two side storylines, interested in where they would go, but how they met was, oh, there's bad stuff happening over there. Let's go check it out. And then he saves the day. Right place, right time scenario, and I thought that was awful. Action-wise, I thought it was really nice. Obviously, they needed to step it up from the last Harry Potter film, which was a war. While that was happening, all I could think of was, how are they gonna get the Muggles to not remember everything?
You know what?
And then they went full Men in Black 2 with it.
It's raining and there's a big flash and it's fine. I just realized something though, to go back to something smart for 1 second.
Okay.
The pure destructive power of that kid when he's in destruction mode, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought
we've never really seen that before.
Exactly,
It's just like a tornado of magic.
Yeah.
Smashing into things, destroying things.
Yeah.
Though, back to something dumb, in the climax of the film, how they so easily destroy the kid when he's in magic dust mode.
Yeah.
You know, it's like untold power. He shouldn't have even lived this long. He must have so much power inside of him, so much magic juice.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, you. Like 12 of them just go like that and he's dead.
And I actually read that there's a deleted scene where you see that kid get onto a boat at the end of the movie so that he didn't die. So now I wonder if they'll bring him back in the sequels. I hope they don't.
If it's deleted, then
it's like, exactly. I would rather that they just killed him. The stupid rain. Because I've said it's the exact same ending to Men in Black 2. What really killed me, because obviously it's a huge ass cop out to just be like, we can do whatever we want and then the whole city's fine.
On top that says everything that we did in this movie means nothing. It's all back to normal.
Yeah, but what really hurt me was that there's wizards and witches in the rain fixing all the buildings to make everything look like nothing happened. And I'm like, Obliviate would make them forget everything as well. It works as much on wizards and witches than it does on muggles.
Well, because the bird did it.
So it doesn't hurt.
Well, because the bird is stronger magic points.
Right.
So then its magic points override the magic spell's magic points.
Right.
And then the magic juice was only targeting muggles because of juice and points and muggles and non-mag and birds.
Yeah. No, it makes sense.
Like an eagle.
Right.
Was it an eagle?
It's the Scooby-Doo reveal of Johnny Depp as Grindelwald. Good lord. I did really like how the first thing we see in the movie is a big... building explosion.
Oh.
And it's introduced that it's Grindelwald as he's starting to kind of gain power. They just slightly set him up so then the rest of the franchise can kind of touch on how he rises to power.
Right.
But then turns out Colin Farrell's character was actually Grindelwald the whole time, which was awful. Like, why not just have Colin Graves as like be a follower of Grindelwald or want to surpass Grindelwald? And that just pissed me off.
Instead of it being like all of his actions mean nothing. He's not his own person.
Yeah, exactly. And then just Johnny Depp as Grindelwald, awful.
Yeah.
He looks awful.
He was a huge letdown. It honestly felt like a step backwards in terms of villain.
Absolutely, and because they did such a great job in the original Harry Potter series of only casting British actors. Obviously, we're in America now, so we can cast American actors, but I don't like how they cast an American actor as a British character, especially in this world where they've been so tight on that.
Yeah,
I would have loved to see maybe a more well-known British actor take on the role of Grindelwald. I don't know who, but I would have preferred that. Let's go on to everything else.
Wait, something dumb?
So everything else, first thing I want to talk about is this new franchise that they've set up. Originally planned as a trilogy, it's now going to be 5 films. That's a lot. The producer of the series, I thought this was interesting. The producer said, David Heyman, he said, you ready?
Yeah.
He said,
Tell me what he said.
I don't...
I'm waiting to hear what he said.
Okay, this is what he said.
What did he say?
He said, I don't think Newt will be at the heart of all of them.
Interesting.
Interesting, right? I don't know how I feel if it's a good interesting or a bad interesting.
Well, I mean, I think they're just trying to shy away from their Harry Potter thing, where it's just all about the journeys of one person.
Yeah, but they did say that Newt would still be a part of all 5 movies.
Right.
So again, I thought that was something interesting that they said. They said that the 5 films will span 19 years.
Good lord.
Because 19 years after 1926 is 1945. That's the year that Dumbledore and Grindelwald have their magical wand battle. It's known as the greatest wizard battle of all time. I just think it's interesting that if that's where the franchise is heading, it's just obviously we're going to have to get into more of Dumbledore, which is confirmed for part 2. So we can actually get into our next part for everything else, which is part 2 of Fantastic Beasts. So Dumbledore is going to be in the movie, and Johnny Depp is going to be back, and he's playing a major role in the film as well. I just have no idea where this franchise is going to go with it, you know? Obviously, we know where the 5th one is going, where it's the battle. How to get from our main character was Newt to the main characters being Grindelwald and Dumbledore. That seems super interesting, and I'm actually interested and excited to see where the franchise will go.
I mean, it could be sort of that they're not direct sequels, but more of just building a universe of something like Marvel Cinematic Universe. Okay, here's an individual film, here's an individual film, and then they come together in this film. But that's what I'm saying, is that it could be 5, not all of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, but 5 of this universe.
That makes me excited. Part 2 is going to be set in Paris and in the UK. So I like how they're still expanding the world. We get to see more of the actual world. And then director David Yates, he did the last 4 Harry Potter movies, and he's confirmed, at least right now, to do all 5 Fantastic Beasts movies. Big thing to take on, but
so his house is pretty big.
It's gonna be huge. Yeah.
He's got a lot of money.
Exactly.
He rolls in it. Sometimes when it's cold, he burns the money.
I feel like he's like Scrooge McDuck, where he actually has a lair of just coins and he swims and bathes in it.
But what are the coins made out of? Metal?
No, chocolate. Like the chocolate coins you can eat.
Is one of those worth $1?
I would think
because then could you have a 1-to-1 ratio of $1 for 1 coin?
We need to figure this out.
I think the math needs to be done.
I'm really excited to actually see what the sequel turns out to be, even though I was left a little bit disappointed with this film.
In terms of something that I enjoyed about it, going all the way back, it's definitely got a lot darker.
Yeah.
And they're definitely aging the franchise with the audience.
Which
and
is
this one,
a beautiful idea.
It's a great choice, and it's a good way to keep the money flowing. I really like how they're aging it. They're getting a lot darker with it. They're murdering people a lot more. So things are getting a lot more heavy. Like, there's actual moments where people with us would be afraid of a moment.
Yeah.
Because something, would be very creepy,
Yeah.
very dark. Specifically, the moment where the boy's about to be beaten again, and this time he finally snaps, and it's kind of a freaky moment where it's like...
It was actually terrifying.
Yeah. The other thing, something dumb.
Okay.
For me, the magic, it's begun to make no sense anymore.
Yeah, it's getting much more vague.
They can do anything, they can go anywhere, they can, they apparate like nothing.
Yeah.
They jump around places they've never been. It doesn't matter without thinking. I mean, it makes the action scenes really cool.
Yeah.
Because then they can be dodging and flipping.
And like
doing
those
all this.
action scenes were awesome. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's really cool. It's a double-edged sword. It makes it cooler, but it makes it more vague, and it doesn't make as much sense for the universe.
Yes. And then, do you have a last point?
I don't think so. That reminds me of another thing that kind of grinds my gears. Yeah, I said it. Grinds my gears. The little muggle-worthy button that he presses on the case. It's like, this isn't a science fiction, you know? It's not, he's not pressing a button and technology isn't happening. It's magic. If it's gonna be muggle-proof, it should just be muggle-proof. You understand what I'm saying about this?
I'm not putting this in the video.
Cage, shut up. You're gonna put in the video, okay? You're putting this in the video. This is me. This is my time.
So then that's it. That's our story here.
That's the story.
So with our official rating, this GIF.
What I really liked about it is in that one part where Sandra Bullock popped in.
Was she the gravity?
She was the gravity.
Thank you for watching. Comment below what your thoughts of the movie were, and I think that's it. We're out of here.